All right, first and foremost, want to give all praise unto YAHAWASH and SHAM, Rayabya Banga. And I just want to touch briefly dealing with this term confusion of faces. All right. Now, it's come to my attention, that a lot of GMS cats, in particular, that set of Hebrew Israelites love bringing this scripture out, saying that this is speaking on Israelites looking like other nations. Now, even when I was in GMS, I took a further look at what it was talking about, the actual word, right? And even during the times of GMS, man, I knew that there was something about that breakdown that was off, man. Like saying that that's talking about people looking like other Israelites or looking like other or Israelites looking like other people, other nations. I might do a quick sit down on that one. Because it's Jeremiah. To me, the only scripture you can go to bring that out, or it's a plethora of scriptures you have to bring out in accordance. I think it's Jeremiah 12, chapter 12, verse 7. But pretty much that Israel looking like a speckled bird and they mix themselves among the people. You can only go to those scriptures, and to prove that point from a scriptorial standpoint. Now, going to Daniel's 9th chapter, the 7th verse, a lot of cats in GMS like to use this and say that this is talking about Israelites looking like foreigners and whatnot, looking like Gentile nations, or looking like these heathens, But first and foremost, let me get this scripture real quick. This is 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So we have to study to show ourselves approved unto the Most High God, Yahawah. All right, a workman needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. Okay, now you see this. And so we have to examine and further break down these scriptures before we just put things out there like that. You know what I mean? And that's just something that we all have to work on. I have to work on it. Everybody in this truth is not exempt from what I just said, man. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, let me go into it. This is Daniel's 9 and 7. All right. And the context starts really early, but I just want to get to the point. Daniel's 9 and 7. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto us, but unto us confusion of faces, as at this day to the men of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whether thou hast driven them because of their trespass, that they have trespassed against thee. O Lord, verse 8, O Lord, to us belongeth confusion of faces, to our kings, to our princes, and to our fathers, because we have sinned against thee. All right. Now, when you look at the word confusion of faces, and then you break it down, oh, well, that's talking about us looking like other nations, and we'd be confused. But even when you read that and really have an understanding, it's not what that's talking about, and it's actually not an intelligent way of breaking that scripture down. Okay, and we're going to further examine that. Okay, because I've been, I was on this thing almost 2.5 years back in 2014, man. To be honest with you, latter part of 2014, when I started examining that scripture, I kept being read to that and saying, "Oh, that's talking about," like I said, other Israelites looking like other nations. But that's not the way. That's not the proper breakdown of that, man. You know what I mean? And yes, there are a lot of Israelites that look like other nations. Hell, no Israelite. Really, man, when you deal with the 12 tribes of Israel, whether it be, you know what I'm saying, from Northern Kingdom or Southern Kingdom, it doesn't matter if it's over here in the Western Hemisphere, okay, the Western Hemisphere, or in the Eastern Hemisphere, or wherever throughout the four corners. No Israelite. I don't give a fuck if you Israel. Slovakia for my language, but I don't care if you're Negro, Hispanic, Native American, Indian. Okay, none of us look like how we originally looked like. That includes the Negroes. That includes you West Indians, Haitians, and Negroes as well, man, because you mixed among, okay, the Africans as well. Okay, so that goes with everybody. We don't even really look like our original selves, but when to go to this scripture and talk about that, this is not has nothing to do with that. All right. Where is that scripture at? I mean, Slacky. Confusion of faces. Slacky. Actually, you know what? Let me type in confusion of faces, because just in general, because I want to show you this context of this in other scriptures. All right, confusion of faces. All right, where's that at? All right, and it says they provoke themselves to the confusion. Okay, now I want to show the confusion part. Okay, and it reads. It says Bashath. All right. And it says shameful thing. All right. Shame, the feeling and the condition, as well as it's caused by implication, specifically in idle and ashamed, confusion, greatly put to shame. Shameful thing. All right. Shame. Often with the addition of Jeremiah 7:19, Psalms 44:16, and Job 8:22, and Psalms 35:26, Psalms 1. You know what I'm saying? These are just the different scriptures that it's talking about. You know, that it has that application of shame. All right. Isaiah 45 for 61 and 7. Habakkuk 2 and 10, Micah 1 and 11, and nakedness and shame. So this same word, Strong's H 13 and 22, is applied in all these different scriptures. Now let me go ahead and go down to this one right here. This is the same Strong's number dealing with shame or confusion of my face. Okay, or confusion, that whole context, right? Psalms 44:15. My confusion is continually before me, and the shame 8 in the Strong's H 13 and 22. All right, let me just go back. Jeremiah 17 and 19. Do they provoke me to anger, saith the Lord? Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? Kind of the same phrase being said in Daniel 9 and 7, right? Now, it's the same word, Strong's H 13 and 22, just to clarify. Where is that at? It is because Psalms 44 is the one I would go to prove the point. Psalms 44:15. My confusion is continually before me, and the shame, Strong's H 13 and 22. The shame, the confusion, the shame of my face has covered me. Okay, you know what I'm saying? There's in Strong's H 13 and 22. Shame. Okay, so all of this. Trying to think. Yeah, man, you can go in the different scriptures, man, to prove this point. You know, in this, Isaiah 30 and 3. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, your confusion, your shame, and trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion. All right. See, I mean, this is what it's talking about when you break down Daniel's 9 and 7. We when it says, let me go back. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion, shame of faces, as at this day, to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and to all Israel that are near and that are far off, through all the countries whither thou hast driven them, because of their trespass they have trespassed against thee. Yeah, they have shame because they transgressed the laws. They set up idols. They worshipped idols. Okay. And they were whoring after other gods, man. And because of that, the Lord scattered us, man. And that brought shame to us individually, as well as shame of the entire nation of the nation of Israel. All right. That's how you break down the whole thing with dealing with confusion of faces. It's not talking about people looking like looking like, you have a Judite, a so-called Negro. He might look like a white person because he mixed among Edom. You know what I'm saying? Going all the way, you know what I'm saying? But his forefather goes back to a Negro. You know what I'm saying? For an example. That's not what this is not the way to prove that. This is not a scripture that you can go to prove those points. It has nothing to do with that. It's talking about the shame that our nation would have, or just shame in general. Just dealing with that context, dealing with Strong's H13, 1322. All right. Shame, confusion of faces, shame. All right. So with that said, man, hopefully brothers and sisters will edify, by this. This is Rayabya Bungad. Shalom to the priests, prophets, and elders in this truth, and much love to the brothers and sisters in this truth. That's it. Shalom.